What if there is a cheat code that shows you what the market will do in the next 1 minute, 5 minutes, and even 10 minutes? Sound too good to be true? Not really. While it is true that many people ignore this quote-unquote cheat code, for those who understand it and use it, you may be surprised at what it can do to your trading. And in this video, I'll break down to you 5 keys to use the correlation or the divergence of ES and NQ to predict the next market move. For me, I only trade NQ. That's the technology sector. Some people like to trade ES, which is like SPY. NQ is like triple Q in the market. I like NQ because it's more volatile and it moves more. However, if you only look at NQ alone, you're not going to get the full picture of what NQ may or may not do in the next few minutes. And here's the key number 1. Generally speaking, NQ and ES move in correlation to one another. Meaning, as you can see here on this 5-minute chart today, when NQ came down, SPY came down as well. So if you're trading NQ and you see that ES is coming down and you're trying to long it, then you may want to be careful because NQ may also come down. That's the easier way to use NQ and ES correlation. And so let's get to number 2. Is when you use NQ and ES divergence for a long bias, meaning you're going to go buy it for it to go higher. Let's say you only trade NQ like me, and you see that ES this morning is going down really hard. But if at that moment NQ is not having the same amount of sells, and NQ seems to be holding, then you know that NQ is currently having relative strength. Now, relative strength can be seen on multiple different stocks. For example, if you look at this Tesla chart of today, while the market was diving in the morning, Tesla was actually pushing up. This is called relative strength. Sometimes, on more rare days, you will see that NQ is going down and ES is going up, or vice versa, ES is going down and NQ is going up. If you see that ES is coming down and NQ is still holding or pumping higher, that's called a divergence, meaning that NQ is stronger. The same thing you can do for stocks. If the market is coming down hard and that stock can come down, it means that that stock has relative strength. And so buying a stock while having relative strength would make more sense. Because when the market came down this morning, Tesla was popping up. And in this huge down move, Tesla only pulled back to about half of that move that they pumped up on this morning. And later on, they went back to the highs when NQ did not do the same thing. This is called relative strength. What about on the inverse? That brings us to number 3, and that is NQ and ES divergence for a short bias. For example, today you see at this moment on the 5-minute chart around 11 o'clock, ES was sweeping this previous breakdown level. We draw a bubble here. That's the sweep right there. During that same time on NQ, NQ did not have a sweep. In fact, it produced a lower high. This is called a divergence. ES was higher and swept it, and NQ did not pop higher. What that means is that NQ is relatively weaker than ES. Sometimes this weakness is not on the sweep. Sometimes it's just general weakness. When ES goes up, it doesn't sweep it, but NQ can't go higher. So I will label the divergence on the short sweep factor number 4, and factor number 3 is simply having divergence when the market is going up. Let's say ES is going up, not necessarily sweeping it, but it can't go higher on NQ. I'll call that factor number 3. A little bit of a nuance. One is where ES is going up with a sweep and NQ can't do it. That's factor number 4, divergence on the short sweep. And then factor number 3 is if ES doesn't sweep it and it goes up and NQ can't go higher without the sweep, and that's also divergence on the short side. And so then the inverse is true. Factor number 5 is divergence for a long sweep. Sometimes you'll find that ES have swept the lows and NQ hasn't, or NQ swept the lows and ES haven't. It means that either one of them is stronger, or it could also mean that they haven't taken the sweep yet. Today, we took the long here after a double hammer on the 5-minute. After we had a huge bank on the short side, we banked on the long side here as well. Today, every single funded account I got green, and this is not an income guarantee, but it's just one of those days that things went really well. And understanding that ES NQ divergence or correlation is very important. Not only on the funded accounts, but on my personal account with Interactive Brokers, I locked in 4.4K on my personal account kind of like a payout, but this is not a payout because it's a personal real account on Interactive Brokers. Again, not an income guarantee that anybody can do it. Trading is hard, there are inherent risks, but it shows what is possible. When you understand the correlation or the divergence between ES and NQ, next time you'll look at a chart and say, okay, what is the market doing right now? If you want a long NQ, what's the next thing you're gonna do? Maybe look at ES. Is ES being stronger or is NQ being stronger? If you see ES is going up and NQ can't go up, once ES starts rejecting, you better believe that NQ will probably be weaker and go lower. And that's why today we took a lot of short trades. Most of the trades are short. Even though I'm a natural bull, we banked hard on the short side. The levels were given. If you want to trade with us every day, make sure you join us at 9:30 every day for free. You can also join our Discord inside the description. If you want to see a detailed approach of how I trade futures prop firms in my personal account, you can check out my course at fspfutures.com. Not only am I taking payouts, you can see other people here inside the Discord. They're locking in payouts like these over and over and over again. Almost every day, people are locking in payouts like these. I'm joining them as well. If you want to be part of this community, join us every day at 9:30. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on live.
Warriors, 320 and 330 is our target. Boom, 320. One more to go, fellow warriors. Do not let the enemy push us back. 330 is what we're going for. Do not live as though you have no purpose. Charge for victory. Let's go, warriors. 330 is our target. When the story of this date is told, they will speak of the enemy, but they will remember us. Not just because we fought, but because we never backed down. 330 warriors. Let's go. Let's go, warriors. Archers. Boom, 330. Boom, warriors. Boom, warriors. Right from our bubble. When they doubted us, when they said we're gonna lose it all, we move forward. When the enemy says we are going to lose, but we charge forward. Great job, warriors. I salute you. We may not wear crowns, but we wear the scars that matter. Warriors, those scars are proof that we stood when others ran. They will never doubt us again. Well done, warriors.